Melatonin has never worked for your child or only worked briefly before stopping, you've probably wondered, why does it seem to help other autistic kids but not mine? I'm Diane Lusney, and I support moms of autistic children aged 4 to 12 whose kids are dealing with a persistent sleep issue. Let's get into the topic. Point 1. Melatonin works best when the body is already moving towards sleep. Has this ever happened to you? In the winter, when it gets dark early, have you ever battled not to fall asleep in the chair, feeling like it was late into the evening, but the clock says it's only 8 p.m.? How you feel and the time of day is in contrast. Well, that's sort of opposite to what kids with delayed melatonin feels like. With them, they feel the signs of sleep readiness, such as their energy drops naturally as the day winds down. Their body language softens, less bouncing, less intensity. They yawn. Their eyes get heavy. They start to slow down. The clock on the wall says it's 10 p.m., but their body clock says it's early evening and not time to sleep yet. The body is ready, but the internal clock is off. Those states of slowdown are usually paired with a trigger in your system telling your body it's night and time to sleep. At least that's how it usually is for a neurotypical child. Everything comes together, the clock and the readiness, and the child sleeps. If your child is looking tired and ready for bed, but can't sleep, almost as if they've had a bit of caffeine, there could be a mismatch. The body is winding down and saying, I'm ready. But the internal clock is saying, not yet, it's too early. Melatonin might tweak that conversation. It signals, actually, nighttime is here now. Let's sleep. What sleep readiness doesn't look like. Other children don't show those signs listed at all. Their bodies stay alert, active, or on the edge right through till bedtime. They're not yawning. They're not slowing down. Their nervous system is still running at full speed. In those situations, melatonin has little leverage, not because it's ineffective, but because the system isn't asking for sleep yet. Remember, the system thinks it's still early evening. Melatonin doesn't create sleep readiness. It supports it. Melatonin is not a natural sleeping pill. By the way, there are other supplements that impact sleep. If you'd like me to do a series about one of those supplements, let me know in the comments. And if you have a specific supplement in mind, let me know that too. What you can do. Notice whether your child's body seems almost ready for sleep in the evening or not close at all. Ask yourself, does my child naturally slow down after dinner, or do they stay activated? Do I see signs of tiredness, such as yawning, heavy eyes, quieter voice, or do they seem wide awake? Is the issue that they can't fall asleep until late, or that they can't settle even when they should be tired? This observation alone helps you interpret whether melatonin is likely to help. If your child shows signs of sleep readiness, but the timing is off, melatonin might help. If your child shows no sleep readiness and stays activated, focus on regulation first, then consider melatonin. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It supports our internal clock. Point 2. Do you have an evening routine and a bedtime routine? Your bedtime routine should not be doing the heavy lifting of settling your child. Your child should be already starting to settle when the bedtime routine starts. This is especially true for kids on the spectrum because, 1, they become stressed more easily than a neurotypical child, and 2, it can take them longer to regulate and settle. That's why an evening routine and a bedtime routine might be necessary. If your evenings include rushing from activity to activity to activity, homework battles or emotional meltdowns right before bed, screens or high energy play really close to bedtime, unpredictable routines. Bedtime happens at different times or in different ways every evening. Sensory overwhelm that hasn't been addressed. Then melatonin is fighting an uphill battle. It's not that melatonin doesn't work. It's that the evening hasn't prepared the body to receive the signal that it's time to sleep. What you can do. Instead of evaluating melatonin at bedtime, think about how your child's body moves through the last part of the day. Ask yourself, what's happening between dinner and the start of the bedtime routine? Is my child getting a chance to settle through things like movement, sensory input, slow resistance? Is the evening predictable and calm, or chaotic and reactive? Are we addressing sensory needs, or are we just trying to power through to bedtime? Before you change anything, just stop and notice. By taking some time, you can focus on the few keys that stop your child from getting to sleep readiness. Modifying what's happening before the bedtime routine could be enough to support your child's natural level of melatonin. If you decide later to add melatonin, their body will be ready to use it. And if you want practical tools to support nervous system regulation in the evening, I created a free guide called the T-Zone System for Relaxation and Sleep. It gives you simple, body-based strategies to help your child's nervous system shift into calm before bed. The link is in the description below. If evenings feel like the hardest part of your day, leave a comment below. What makes evenings so hard for you? If there's one thing I could help you with, what would it be? Thanks for your comment. Point 3. Melatonin is one piece of the puzzle, but it's only useful when the other pieces are in place. Melatonin is a powerful tool when used in the right context, but it's not a standalone solution. Think of sleep like a puzzle with multiple pieces. Timing. When the body knows it's nighttime, this is where melatonin helps. Regulation. The nervous system moving from activation to calm or from reaction to control. Sensory comfort. The body feels safe and sensorially organized. Predictability. The brain knows what's coming next and feels safe. And emotional safety. No unresolved distress or worry. Melatonin addresses one piece, timing. If that's the only missing piece, melatonin works beautifully, sometimes. But if the other pieces aren't in place, if regulation is missing, or sensory needs aren't being met, or the evening is chaotic, melatonin alone won't solve it. And here is where it's easy to get stuck. Melatonin gets used when sleep feels urgent. After months of exhaustion, frustration, and desperation, parents reach for melatonin, hoping it will finally fix the problem, or at least have a positive impact. But urgency doesn't always point to the right solution. If the core issue is regulation, emotional safety, or nervous system overload, melatonin won't address that. And expecting it to creates frustration and self-doubt. The right order. 1. Address regulation and sensory needs first. Evening wind down, predictable routine, nervous system support. Then add melatonin if timing is still off. When you do it in that order, melatonin has something to work with. It becomes the final piece that helps everything click into place. When you do it in the reverse, melatonin first, regulation later, you're asking one tool to do a job it was never designed to do. What you can do. Give yourself permission to stop treating melatonin as a verdict on whether you're doing sleep, quote unquote, right. Instead, see it as a piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, is timing the only issue, Or are there other barriers to sleep? Has my child's nervous system been supported before melatonin is introduced? Am I expecting melatonin to do the whole job, or am I layering it with other supports? If melatonin is the only missing piece, you could be one of the moms talking about the magic of melatonin. But if other pieces are missing, regulation, sensory support, predictability, address those first. Then melatonin becomes far more effective if needed at all. So now you know when melatonin is likely to help and when it won't be enough on its own. Now I can almost predict what you are asking yourself. Okay, Diane, if I decide to try melatonin, how do I actually do this? What dose? What time? How do I know if it's working? That's exactly what I walk you through in the next video. It's called How to Start Melatonin Safely for Your Autistic Child. Click here to watch it now. See you there.